Hi guys, I hope that you're really well. If you are watching this on Instagram, please give this some love and follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give me a like and remember to subscribe. There will also be a coffee link underneath that you can purchase me a coffee from, which is massively appreciated. Right, so this is a video dedicated to Claire. God, I'm really warm, pardon me. This is a video dedicated to Claire. Claire joined the class last night on a Thursday, so this is a video going over all of the irregular futures and all of the irregular subjunctives, just in one handy one-stop shop. So a couple of things to remember. The futures, you can remember them a lot of the time because the word you kind of use often sounds like you're drunk. So like, voir, verra, faire, fera, fera, pouvoir, pourra. You start at the consonant of choice and you go hell for leather to the r at the end of the verb. That's generally going to help you. Often it's helpful to remember that there's often like an English sounding word that they sound like, which is quite a useful, weird little trick as well for learners. Then the subjunctive. We've just got to be careful on ones which change on the nous and the vous, ones which don't, all of this business. I'm going to assume that you know how to use the subjunctive and the simple future by the fact that you're watching this video. If you don't, I will pop links to those videos underneath. Right, let's get going. So, let's do the simple future. So, good. So the first two are particularly useful because you're going to remember that they are the king and queen of the verbs, or the king and the king, or the queen and the queen, or the king and the king, who are both queens. So they are going to be used, and they are going to also be used in tenses where we have an auxiliary in the future and the conditional as well. So the future past and the conditional past. And that is the verb to be, which is seur in the future. Seur, not serre, which is to squeeze. It's nice to squeeze somebody, but not right now. Seur. So for the purposes of this video, I will say everything in the future with he and the conditional, because the future and the conditional have the same stems, don't they? The same blocks. So he will be il sera, he would be il serait. Yeah. Have, like the English word excuse me sir, but you don't have to call me sir. Avoir, the sound is or, like Luke or Phil. Okay, so he will have il aura, he would have il aurait, AUR. So we've had SER, sir, AUR, or. And like I said, they will be the auxiliaries for tenses where you use future and conditional in the auxiliaries. So he will have eaten, il aura mangé, he would have left, il serait parti. We will use those verbs as conditional past and future anterior. Okay. To go, aller, the irregular future is ir, okay? Ir, ir. So he will go, il ira, he would go, il irait. Worth remembering that keep your ears and your eyes open because the subjunctive of the verb to go, for the most part, is I, apart from lu and vous, and ir for the go, for the future. So ir and I. So he would, like I said, he would go, il irait. Faire, to do, the future becomes fur, yeah, like fur on someone's body kind of thing, on an animal, fur. So il fera, il ferait, yeah, okay. Very common in phrasal verbs. Come, venir, you you've got to be careful. This one is in a lot of other verbs which have venir as part of the verb. So viandre, yeah. The dr thing comes up quite a lot in the future, doesn't it? In a moment, you can have faudra, voudra, yeah? So this dr business is quite common. So viendra, viendrai, viendra, viendront, viendrions, viendriez, whatever's going on. So, he will remember, il se souviendra, that will suit me, ça me conviendra. Yeah, okay, so viendra, viendrai, viendre, okay? Devoir, to have to, devre, just D-E-V-R, devre. So he will have to, il devra, he would have to, il devrait. Remember, this is one of the modal verbs. This would be often interpreted as he should. Yeah, he should. If you want videos on the modal verbs, pop those underneath. Shall I? Will I pop that? Would that be too much? So would, should, could. Just go logic, language learning space, would, should, could, and a great video comes up. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, Beverly Knight tune. So would. So it could be the modal, he should, he would have to. Notice one in English is positive, one in English is negative, but they are the same creature in French. So he would have to, il devrait. He will have to, il devra. You get what I'm saying. These future blocks and stems work for all the futures, all the conditionals, like je, tu, il, nous, vous, il. I'm just practicing them with two for the purposes of time. DEVR. Voudra is the one that you will use first, so I would like. You all learn to say je voudrais, more polite than je veux, but strictly speaking it is I would want. So he would like, he will like, il voud, he will want, il voudra, he would want, il voudrait. There's a great film, Hors de Prix, about two con artists working in the south of France. Great film, beautiful film. You fall in love with who you fall in love with, don't you? And in this, there's this tagline of j'aimerais, je voudrais, my computer's making a noise, don't be annoying. Pour, to pour something in English, the future stem of be able to. Yeah, I will be able to. People struggle to find that one. Remember, I can is the verb to be able to. So I will be able to. So je pourrais, il pourra, il pourrait. Also, talking about modal verbs, this would be I could. Je pourrais. Yeah, je pourrais, tu pourras, il pourrait. Let's do the future. Je pourrais, tu pourras, il pourrait, nous pourrons, vous pourrez, ils pourront. The could, je pourrais, tu pourras, il pourrait, nous pourrions, vous pourriez, il pourrait. Super common verb, all right? Pour, not pouvoir. Then we've got savoir, which is sore, like my arms are sore after the gym, whatever. Sore, saurais. Yeah, saurais. Be careful with your vowel because you'll be accidentally pronouncing saurais. Okay, so we are saying saurais. I will know. Je saurai. He will know. Il saura. This video is also on the irregular subjunctive list. Saura, saurait. Okay. Voir, to see. Ver is a common mispronunciation in laziness because verra, but it's ver. Strictly speaking, verra, verrai, verront. Okay. So he will see, il verra, on verra. He would see, il verrait. Okay. Lovely. Right, some slightly less commonly used but future verbs. Acquérir, acquérir, to acquire. Yeah, acquérir. Interesting little verb. Past participle acquis, you know. So basically, what you're doing with a lot of these verbs is you're finding something a bit more complex than the first set. It's not like bleu, 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 but you're just kind of trimming down a syllable. So if it was acquérir, you're saying you want, right, let me give you a bonus tip for the future. If your verb has a r in it and you're adding a r ending, you must remember to have the double r ending. So if your verb is préférer, préférer, your future will be préférerait, préférera, préféreront, you know, okay? And people forget that. So they say, I would prefer, je préférais. I'm like, that's the imperfect, my darling. So to avoid that sometimes, instead of saying things like acquérira, which is quite a lot, then basically we're going to have acquérer, acquéra, you know, just a simple sort of, you know, we knock one syllable off, all right? So to acquire. The same with courir, yeah? So instead of saying courira, couriront, courirait, we say, which we do with, like I said, montrer, montrera, montreront, we're just going to say courir, courra, courant, courrions, courrier, okay? Which is kind of what the mouth wants to do anyway, all right? Cueillir, which is to gather, okay? Cueillir, it is cueillir, which is an IR verb, but we don't say cueillirai, it's a bit odd, yeah? We say the cueillera. So if we had a standard ERA verb, manger, it would go mangera. So with cueillir, the future becomes, not you're going to be gathering flowers that often, I mean, unless you're me. So cueillera, cueilleront. We'll transform it into a temporary, false, fake ER verb, all right? Decevoir, we don't say decevrai, we say decevrai. We just laze it up a little bit, yeah? We laze it up a little bit. Decevrai, decevra, decevront, okay? Sorry, decevrai, decevra, decevront. Envoyer. This is a super common error. Because of voir, the verb is je vois, tu vois, il voit, nous voyons, vous voyez, il voit. And even though envoyer is an ER verb, an A verb, we don't say envoyera. We go, voyons is a little bit like, voyons is a little bit like voir. So we say on verra, on verront. Yeah, we use the verb pronunciation, the verb, from the verb to see. Yeah. Falloir, to be necessary. This, I don't know why this isn't on the more common lists, but faudre. So it is necessary, il faut. It will be necessary, il faudra. It would be necessary, il faudrait. With or without a pronoun. Il me faut un café, il me faudra un café, il me faudrait un café. All right? So, like I said, a lot of that list, it's just what the mouth wants to do. So, décevoir, décevra. Courir, courra. It's what the mouth wants to do. Pleuvoir, again, pleuvoira, what the mouth wants to do. Pleura, pleura. Yeah, it's just what the no, Luke, pleuvra. I'm thinking of pleuvra, pleuvra. So pleuvoir, I took too much off. So pleuvoir, instead of saying pleuvoirait, pleuvoira, we'll say pleuvra. Yeah. Recevoir, there we go. So again, recevra, recevrai. Yeah. Okay, not to be confused with décevoir, with the E, which is with the D, EQ. So recevra rather than recevoira. Okay. Good. Tenir, very common, going to work like venir. So tiendra, tiendrai, contiendra, contiendrai. Yep, anything with the tien. Valoir. I think I'm a little bit poorly today. I got a bit of runny nose. Valoir. To be worth. Yeah. L'Oréal parce que je le vaux bien. I'm not particularly looking like a L'Oréal model today, but parce que je le vaux bien. So valoir, to be worth. Vaudre. It's the sister or the cousin verb of voudre. Yeah. And faudre. They work similarly. Remember with valoir, I should have said. Sorry, with faudre and valoir, I should have said. It's only going to be the he form, isn't it? The he, she, it singular form. Because it's il faut. And if ever you use it with somebody else, it'll be il me faut, il te faut, il lui, leur faut, indirect. Il nous faut, il vous faut, etc. Whereas valoir, vaudrait, vaudra, vaudront, whatever. Commonly used in expressions like to be worth the effort. Vaudra la peine, whatever, it'll be worth the effort. Good, so vaudre. Good, so in future then, in total, I shall read them all out. We've got je serai, j'aurai, j'irai, je ferai, je viendrai, je devrai, je voudrais, je pourrai, je saurai, je verrai, j'acquerrai, je courrai, je cueillerai, je décevrai, merde putain, because I keep thinking I'm saying recevoir, je décevrai, j'enverrai, il faudra, il pleuvra, je recevrai, je tiendrai, il vaudra. Quick test, I'm going to give you the verb, you're going to give me the future irregular. Courir, do it for me with he, with ra. Courir, il courra. Être, il sera. Avoir, il aura. Tenir, il tiendra. Venir, il viendra. Faire, il fera. Voir, il verra. All right, that'll do. I'll leave the list with you. Right. Shall I have a quick coffee or shall we do the subjunctives now? Do you know what? I'm going to do something I don't think I've ever done in a while. I'm going to leave the coffee. I'm going to leave the... No, I was going to try and give up coffee this week. Should I do a decaf? I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to have a decaf coffee. You can go over the work. I'll be right back. I'm going to go and get a decaf coffee. Right. So, I will drink the coffee. Boire. Boira. Boire, boira, boiront. Good. So let's go to our subjunctive page. All right. Well done. We're halfway there. There's a song there. Whoa, we're halfway there. A little list of organisation. I'm gone. Right. Consent. Where's it gone? Right. The way I like to teach subjunctive irregulars is the degree to which they're irregular. So you can sort of say there's a first level irregular, which is this verb has got nothing to do with what you'd expect it to do. Then you've got an upper level irregular, which is this verb's got nothing, but it will then only be weird on the, it'll be the same weirdness all the way down. Then it will be, it's not what you expected it to do, but it will be the same weirdness all the way down, apart from nous and vous, which will do something, unpredictable. And then we've got some whole, we just really couldn't have guessed that. Okay, so I think that's, and whenever you Google this, most teachers with half a brain go about it in that way as well, rather than just making a standard list. Okay, so I'm going to try and approach it from a couple of different angles. So the first thing is, let's go with our king and our queen of the verbs. Let's go with subjunctive. But the other thing is as well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach it in my method, which, as you know, is very phonetic. So the subjunctive of the verb to be is soit. I'm assuming you know the subjunctive if you are watching this video, to remind you that most of the time the subjunctive will be the same as the standard present tense, but ion and ia for the nous and the vous. Or if you have a soft hard verb like part, partant, partez, part, it will be the hard sound, like Luc wants me to go, Luc veut que je parte. I will attach a link to how to form the subjunctive underneath. Want, need, doubt, fear, impersonal, emotional, and various, other little expressions. Don't always assume that a que will give it the subjunctive. It won't always, but it's nice to be vigilant on a que. But there are plenty of expressions which don't use subjunctive. Every time I say hello to you guys, I say j'espère que vous allez bien. Espérer in French does not take subjunctive. It does in Spanish, if I'm not mistaken. So let's start with the king of the verb to be then, so soit. So I see is je vois, tu vois, il voit, nous voyons, vous voyez, il voit. Je vois. Swap that letter for an S. Soit, 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 soyons, soyez, soit. We just spoke a moment ago at the verb to be being sir in the future, so it's all about S's. I am is je suis, S-U-I-S. We've got soit, S-O-I-S, but don't focus on the spellings. You're more than welcome to go and look them up, but my method is not spelling based at this stage. So soit, 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 soyons, soyez, soit. For the vast bulk of the subjunctive, you will notice that we have ion, like in the imperfect, and ea, like in the imperfect, for the nous and the vous. We do not on the king and the queen of the verbs. So soit, 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 soyons, soyez, soit. Almost as if the verb were soyez. So if you had the verb soyez, je sois, tu sois, il soit, nous soyons, vous soyez, il soit, that's a subjunctive. So Luc is happy that Phil is here. Luc est content que Phil soit là. All right. Again, same as in the previous two videos, be and have could be an auxiliary. So, Luc is sad that Phil left. Luc est triste que Phil soit parti. All right? To have. Now, say for me, I have. J'ai. J'ai. Carry that sound all the way down. J'ai, tu es, il est, nous ayons, vous ayez, ils aient. Yeah? No aeon or anything daft like this. So that's the subjunctive of have. Think I have is j'ai. Captain America, you know, Anarchy A. J'ai, tu es, il est, nous ayons, vous ayez, ils aient. So I am happy that you have a dog. Je suis heureux que tu aies un chien. Now the problem is when you start reading this verb, which is AIE, AIES, AIT, AYONS, AYEZ, AINT, you start seeing the A and the I. And the A and the I also crop up in our verb to go in the subjunctive, which is I. And despite everybody's protestations to the contrary, you all keep getting it the wrong way round. So go in the subjunctive, we'll come on to in a moment, is I. Have in the subjunctive is the letter A. Yeah? The letter A. You could just think go is the letter I and and have is the letter A, all right? So say for me, A on A, and make sure it doesn't go anywhere, all right? So let's then do the, are we there? Or is that the one I was planning on doing next? Let's do go while we're there. So go is going to be A-I-double-L-E, similar to the pronunciation of Versailles. Yeah, I. So I, and then if it were a normal ER verb, the infinitive would be like mangiant. Sorry, the subjunctive on nous and vous would be mangiant, mangier. So it's going to be alliant, allié. So you completely forget everything you've done with the I, and you go, Luc wants me to go. Luc veut que j'aille. Luc veut que tu ailles. Luc veut qu'il aille. Luc veut que nous allions. Luc veut que vous alliez. Luc veut qu'ils aillent. Yeah? It's different on nous and vous. Let's carry on. Falloir. No. Let's do them in some reasonable order of how often we use them. Faire. To do. Face. This is one of my, let's call it bronze level. Yeah? Because it's basically, it's got one sound change and that's loyal. So the bronze level are going to be one sound change and then you just add an E-on and EA as standard for the nous and the vous. So que je fasse, que tu fasses, qu'il fasse, que nous fassions, que vous fassiez, qu'il fasse. You've only got one sound to learn there, face. Starts with an F, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Lovely. Pouvoir, you've got one sound to learn. It's a bronze level, yeah? So, whereas we said soit and A were like gold level because they've got a completely mad change all the way down. Aller was like silver level because it's got one change for most of it, but has then got nous and vous to worry about as well. This is like another bronze level because it's just nice and easy because it's just the same irregular sound. So puisse for to be able to, puisse. So puisse, je puisse, que tu puisses, qu'il puisse, que nous puissions, que vous puissiez, qu'il puisse. Similar to the inversion for pouvoir, may I, puis-je, all right? We've got another bronze level, guys, which is savoir, sache, sache. So that that I know, que je sache, que tu saches, qu'il sache, que nous sachions, que vous sachiez, qu'il sache. Okay? The three silver levels then, notice these three silver levels. So go, we've said. So I, alliant, allié, I. Nous and vous link back to the infinitive. Aller, alliant, allié. The same with valoir, to be worth, okay, which is on our future list, which is vaille, vaille, yeah? So vaille, 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 valiant, valier, vaille. Yeah, very, 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 very similar. Were you writing it? Be careful with the L's on the nous and the vous, it's not the same as the aller. So vaille is to be worth in the subjunctive. Then we've got vouloir. Now, this is a complete, this is a silver. We've got veuille. So veuille, 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 voulions, vouliez, veuille. Another one where the nous and the vous are working on what they would do normally if it were an ER verb, which it isn't, but let's imagine. You're used to kind of doing that with vouloir. If you think in the present tense, je veux, tu veux, il veut, nous voulons, vous voulez, ils veulent, you're used to keeping nous and vous safe from abnormality, really, on the nous and the vous, all right? Good. Lovely. So far we've had fasse, puisse, sache, aille, vaille, veuille. Right. A lot of the time your irregulars, although they're irregulars, I don't really teach them as irregulars because in my method with the sound, although the spelling is nuts, they are going to use the they form. So although by definition they are irregular, I teach the system that the soft hard verbs, so for example, part, partant, parti, part, tiens, tenons, tenez, tienne, sort, sortant, sortez, sorte. I say if you want to find the imperfect, go to the nous, and if you want to find the subjunctive, go to the they. So for example, they take, ils prennent. Sound-wise, the subjunctive is que je prenne, que tu prennes, qu'ils prennent. Yeah, you've obviously then got prenions, prenier again on the nous and the vous. You've got your standard ion and ea on your subjunctive. And then again, tienne, tienne, tienne. Tenions, teniez, tienne. So these are sound-wise, you can find them as standard using my method. So it's not like sache, puisse, etc. But you've still got a bit of silver action going on the nous and the vous. Yeah? Like doivent. Yeah. So we've got devoir. So the they form normally would be, so je dois, tu dois, il doit, nous devons, vous devez, ils doivent. So a twister. So the they form would be doivent. So the subjunctive is doivent, 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 but we've got some silver age action going on, those of you that know comic references. Devions, deviez, back to doivent. So in other words, it's not totally silver age where we have a new sound and then we do something faithful on the nous and the vous. We've got the obvious sound from the they using my method, but we do something faithful on the nous and the vous. All right? So that would be, so subjunctive, I have to, so, que je doive, que nous devions, que je prenne, que nous prenions, que je tienne, que nous tenions. Good. Lovely, lovely, lovely. That's basically most of the time it. The only other thing that I'd mention would be very careful when you have stem changey verbs with pronunciation. So things like jeter becoming je jette in the present tense. So jeter, je jette, tu jettes, il jette, nous jetons, vous jetez, il jette. Okay, in your present tense, you've been taught to make that adaptation for the pronunciation. So lever, je lève, tu lèves, il lève, or je me lève, tu te lèves, il se lève, nous nous levons, vous vous levez, il se lève. So you've been taught that on the, again, apart from the nous and vous, you're going to place that in there. Okay, your subjunctive, okay, is going to do the same crap because it's basically, like I've told you, most of the time the subjunctive, if it's an ER verb, is going to just be the same as the present tense normal ER verb. So que je jette, que tu jettes, qu'il jette. When we then obviously get to the nous and the vous, once again, yeah, we would stick with je tiens, je tiens. So we wouldn't make the change all the way down. So really, that's worth saying, but we could just go with our argument that an ER verb is going to be the same as everybody normally in an ER verb, but nous and vous, we add an I. That argument would work with that. So normal present tense, je jette, tu jettes, il jette, nous jetons, vous jetez, il jette. Only one T on the nous and the vous. Subjunctive would be que je jette, que tu jettes, qu'il jette, que nous jetions, que vous jetiez, qu'il jette. Again, that argument would work. All right, so in overview, I'm going to shout out a verb and you're going to give me, and let's make it really safe, let's say the I form and the we form of this subjunctive. So we know whether we're talking bronze, silver, gold, partial silver, stem change, whatever. All right, so off we go. Verb to be, que je sois, que nous soyons. Verb to have, que j'ai, que nous ayons. Verb to do, que je fasse, que nous fassions. Verb to be able to, que je puisse, que nous puissions. Verb to, I need a list in front of me. Verb to have to, que je doive, que nous devions. Verb to get up, que je me lève, que nous nous levions. Verb to be, que je sois, que nous soyons. Verb to have, que j'ai, que nous ayons. Verb to go, que j'aille, que nous allions. Verb to take, que je prenne, que nous prenions. Yeah? Good. And some others that we've obviously done. So final talk through on the subjunctive. Most of your irregulars can be sorted out in your mind by remembering a and soit are their own rule. A on a, soit, soit on soit. Aller is, what do we say, the silver, so, you know, I, ali on allier, I. And then there's others that are less common that are going to kind of fall along those lines. Just be a little bit mindful of the nous and the vous. But to be honest with you, your mouth kind of knows. Doavions sounds like a piece of shit. You know, voyons sounds like a piece of shit. You know, your mouth knows. Your mouth knows. Good. Please let me know if this was useful. I don't like to go over half an hour of a grammar video nowadays, but if this was in a school, I think this would be a bloody good half an hour. Do please let me know if that helps. I will speak to you guys soon. There is a coffee link underneath. Try and get these down. I would give you a literal list underneath. If you were a visual learner, fine, read them, but get them in your mouth. And when you're practicing the subjunctive, do practice with a token beginning expression like, you know, il faut que, just to give you a reason to use the subjunctive. Otherwise, you'll start mistakenly using the subjunctive instead of the present tense. All right, guys, loads of love. Well done. Big important video. Big grown-up, big girl pants, big boy pants video.